process that you've left on autopilot alongside the ego that is imaginarily running and ruining your kingdom. Your throne is vacant, but to you, there's already someone occupying the seat. You've allowed for your emotions to dominate the chambers. You've allowed for your paradigms to run rampant across the palace, destroying all of the treasures and goodness and plunder that you have went out and fought wars for. And what you're doing fighting wars when you were called to rest. This is not Game of Thrones, fam. Stop living like a hobbit. This is the kingdom of love. This is the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of God. This is the kingdom of you. This is a place of abundance. This is a place of peace, or it's whatever you make it. Because it's genuinely a place of growth, even if you set your gauge to progress back to remedial forms. Beautiful, beautiful. When you have been restored to the recognition of your original state, when you get back to the real you, when you stop entertaining all of these pictures and imaginations and all of these ideas of who you think you are, who they said you are, and who they told you you had to be, who you told you had to be in order to survive the circumstances that you crafted for yourself, called to yourself, manifested on your own, blamed everybody else for, went into books and found ways to justify where you were and said that the things that had fallen upon you were common to all men. And it's common that all men and women find themselves at some point in their life living from fantasy to fantasy, jumping from fear to fear, trying to predict the unknown, and living with anxiety, paranoia, and all of the other host of illusionary phenomena that we settle for in the absence of the simple truth. So Source is canceling out the errors that you could not correct on your own, canceling out the errors that you couldn't even see, canceling out the errors that you not only performed, but protected when somebody tried to tell you that it was erroneous. Fought against, fought for. When Source began to remove such a toxic element from your life, you have to start learning to be grateful for the things that you don't understand. See, when you have someone who's trying to show you anything, they could be trying to show you how to tie a shoe or change a tire or check the oil in your car, or trying to help you develop a higher way of thinking and seeing and hearing and operating, trying to get you to develop a higher way of seeing, functioning, period. Understand that it's going to be really tough for anybody to teach you anything if you don't have trust for that person, or trust in the process of that moment. You don't even have to trust me as a person, but you have to be willing to trust the deliverer of the information far enough that when your understanding hits the ceiling and you are looking at something that you just do not see, can't get, you are in remembrance that the one who is bringing this information to you, you have checked their spirit by your spirit. The electricity of life that is running through you has connected with the electricity of life running through them. You know that their intentions are pure. You can feel it. You can hear it. You can see it. Until you get wrapped up in your emotions and you get wrapped up in the defense of your way and what is familiar to you, but you know how to identify that too. See, we'd be so busy watching ourselves for the things that we've identified as what we would like to correct. But in doing so, we distract ourselves from correcting the things that are actually crippling us and keeping us bogged down in the other stuff. You don't know what you need to correct. You don't know the errors that you are making mentally. You don't know the things that you're doing in the physical that's costing you your peace and your happiness, but you think you do. And being that we all think we know, but we have been instructed by simple truth that we do not, And there is one of a higher way of thinking that can expose and is willing to expose if we will but submit our assumptions. I gotta rock with the simple truth because I've lived out the ineffectiveness of what I believe to be true. And so have you. It's just we have to tighten up as students. Sometimes we ignore the data. Sometimes we take a whole bunch, we run a whole bunch of experiments, collect a whole bunch of data, and never analyze it in a way that allows us to reach truthful conclusions. So we revert back to our hypothesis. Really wasn't a big deal. It really won't be a big deal. I can handle it. I'll be okay. I done felt that before. That you ain't never went through the same thing twice. You've carried yourself inside of many practices over and over again after you found out that they were not effectively helping you or benefiting you or anyone that you say that you live to benefit. You have done that countless times. But every time you did it, it was a new experience. Every time you did it, it was a new occurrence. Every time you did it, it was a new act. So to you, it was the same. But to someone watching from the outside, it was another occasion of more of the same. And you wonder why people get tired of your foolishness before you do. And you wonder why people come and they deal with you snappily, or they come and they just get short with you, or they disconnect from you. And you will, I ain't even really do nothing to them. I mean, we got into it one time that you were aware of. Oh, once you have accepted the atonement for yourself, you become a part of the atonement yourself, for others to return to the atonement for themselves. And then they become a part of the atonement, and then they extend the atonement or the expression of the glory that is within the atonement to who they come in contact with, and they attract more in the moment of atoning. And before you know it, we're looking at a great awakening. We're looking at a complete shift in the way things have been around us and in us. That's what you say you want. And it's going to take some effort from you and me. But it's not going to be the striving that we've been into, trying to control other people, trying to correct everybody else, trying to find fault in those in front of us so that we can put them behind us and move forward and be